Welcome again, everyone, to this next episode of 3 Vegas. I'm here with Tami Roitman, an intuitive clinical hypnotherapist. I'm here with Master Astrologer Kris Gray, and I am Mona Van Joseph. I do intuitive tarot, and we're here to address a specific question for our guests. Now, this program is dropped every week on WWDBTV. You want to go to the YouTube channel for WWDBTV here in Las Vegas and subscribe to this program, subscribe to the station, and then you can get the weekly download that we do, and we record these live every week. So our guest today is going to be the fabulous Minerva, and we'll be with her in just a minute. But in the meantime, how do you be on 3? You go to www.three.vegas and you go to the How to Be on 3 page. And then you actually fill out the little entry form, and then we consider you for our next live broadcast. We typically record these broadcasts all in a row. So we'll do 8 or 10 recordings in a weekend. And so we'd love to have you be included in the next session of recordings. All right, we'll be back right after this.
I'm Kris Gray, the Astro Cowgirl. You may have seen me on 3 Vegas, the mystical series featuring 3 intuitives: Tami Roitman, an intuitive hypnotherapist, myself, a master astrologer, and of course our host, Mystic Mona, a tarot consultant. Each of us taps into our own modality to bring you clarity and guidance. If you'd like to experience it for yourself, you can visit www.3.vegas to book a one-on-one session to connect with us individually, or even submit to be a guest on an upcoming episode. Again, that's www.three.vegas. You can also find me at WWDBTV.com, where I share insightful monthly forecasts. Thank you for joining us every week on WWDBTV.com for a new episode of 3 Vegas. And as always, a special thanks to John Stiles at WWDBTV for hosting our program. Many blessings, and I look forward to helping you unlock your cosmic potential.
Welcome back. Our guest today is the fabulous Minerva. Hi, Minerva. Welcome to the program.
Hi, ladies.
Nice to see you. Okay, so the way the program works is you're going to think of a specific question, and then you're going to speak the question out loud. Okay. After you say the question, you're going to choose one of us to address your question first. So either me or Kris or Tami. And then the other 2 are going to be quiet while you're being chatted with one of us. And then you're going to choose the next person to address your question. And the other 2 are going to be quiet while you're doing that. I'm just telling you this because we all want to jump in. And when we get like an intuitive thing, we all want to jump in and collaborate. And then you're the third person, saving the best for last, whoever that is. And then after she's done, then it becomes collaborative. It becomes a bit of a free-for-all for the next 10 minutes or so after we're all done doing our individual focus on you. So tell us your question today.
My question is, after a 29-year stint in HR as my career, I was laid off, and now the question is that where my next career is going to continue, or is there something new for me more into the entrepreneur side of the world?
Okay, who would you like to start with your question?
I'd like to start with Kris.
She couldn't wait.
Okay, I find it so interesting because that's your question, because it's all over your chart. And so first I'm going to say, after over 30 years of reading charts, I have never seen one as prominent as yours with these placements. So the first thing that comes to mind is Holy Leo. Like, I've never seen so many Leo placements ever. So your sun sign is Leo, but also your rising sign is Leo. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have all your personal planets. They're all in Leo. So, so much fire in your chart. Like you have just this very dynamic, very strong, fiery, fierce personality. And you really make your way in life. Like you make your life what you want it. Okay. So I'm just going to jump right into your question because of that. So, with all the Leo and then it all being in your first house of self and you making your way and being very intentional and purposeful with your goals and what you want in your life and your life path, you have this strong sense of purpose and you know what you're capable of, you know what you're here for, just very strong sense of self and identity that aligns perfectly with entrepreneurship. So, so I'm also not surprised that you have this question because right now season 5, we have had a ton of Leos on our so far. And the reason is because we're currently experiencing the eclipse series of Leo and Aquarius, which means those signs are people who have strong placements in Leo and Aquarius. They are being affected, and kind of where that falls in their chart determines how their life is being affected. So this started very recently. It's going to continue over the next year and a half. So for you specifically, this falls in your first house, and this is going to represent starting this new path, this new chapter. So if you were to take a look, like 18 months from now, you were to look back to this period in life, you're going to say, oh my gosh, my life is completely different than it was 18 months ago. This is like this brand new life direction. It's like you're getting this new chance at starting something brand new. So take that a layoff as an absolute blessing. It was the universe giving it to you, like to signal to you, like now's your time to shine and do what you want to do and make your own way. So I'm going to say absolutely entrepreneurship is definitely, it's so aligned with your personality. You're going to be just outstandingly successful at it. And I can't wait for the other ladies to go because I want to learn more about this. So I have some questions for you after they go. But yes, entrepreneurship, take the leap, take the faith, take this layoff as an absolute blessing. It was meant to happen. It was destined.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right. So who would you like to have address the question next?
We're going to go with you.
Okay. All right. See you, Tami. See you. Okay. So Tami doesn't like to be influenced by what we say. So she steps out until I'm done talking or until Kris was done talking. So you're going to hear me clearing the cards for you. All right, I'm drawing your cards. Okay, so you have my favorite card that anyone can get in a reading right smack in the middle of your spread. And it's a card called Trust. So when I was looking for a new deck of cards, I was just going to go get another Rider-Waite deck. And I walked into the store and the gal goes, some people are really resonating to this new deck. So 20-something years ago, this was a brand new deck. And so I'm looking through the cards, and I get to this card smack in the middle of your spread called Trust. And it shows a little girl leaping into the void. But she knows she's going to land in a soft, fabulous place. So when I saw that card, my whole body went goosebumps. So I knew that this was the deck I was supposed to read with, that this was going to be my professional deck. Now, saying that, right next to that is a card called Creativity. This is the card of the artist, the writer, the singer, the public speaker, the performer, the trainer, the artist, the musician, the chef. It is always creative. And part of the reason that you were so good at what you did in your career up until and actually it's still going to be moving forward, but you're so good at what you do is because you can take what's being presented to you and work with it. So like if your kids were to say to you, Mom, there's nothing to eat. You would go into the cupboards and create a gourmet meal based on the fact that you can throw things together and make something. Well, gee, Mom never had this before. Well, you just created it on the spot. You have an understanding of how foods and flavors go together, and you would create this great meal, even though there was nothing to eat, right? So you do that connected with your job. So these two cards together mean that trusting that your creative solutions to things is going to be the thing that actually helps you moving forward. So what's also interesting is that you have this card called integration right before the card called creativity. The integration card means that people have underestimated you your whole life. So somebody might not realize that you're fully bilingual and can read and write in Spanish and English, that you can train people and guide people and advise people in Spanish and English. And that one of the things that you have that works for you, but also works a little bit against you, is the fact you have an incredible memory when it comes to people. So the file cabinet that is in your head of people that have done kind things for you and icky things because of their relationship with you, usually based on their own jealousy or selfishness, you don't forget any of that. So when you're presenting something, you could present from the fact of experience, but also from memory. All right. Well, again, some people might perceive you to be a little bit of Miss Smarty Pants, specifically because you remember everything. Right. People have underestimated your achievements your whole life. Now, it's interesting because I think now the argument you're getting back from people that you're applying with is that you're overqualified. And so when you get to the point of people telling you that you're overqualified, that usually means that leap into doing something independently. All right. You have this card called completion, which is right next to the card called trust. Now it's reversed. And it doesn't mean bad when it's reversed. It means some sort of credential or client accolade or some sort of way of presenting yourself that you've already done consulting. All right. So it may be that some of those past employers that you worked with before that loved you, right? It could be that you call one or two people and you have them write a review about you on LinkedIn about how well you work with people and that you are the go-to person for just about anything human resources related. All right. The other interesting thing here is that I wonder if you got yourself on the board for the local SHRM organization, Society of Human Resources Management, but you got yourself on the board. So it could be, volunteer at large or a member at large or something like that, where what you do is you actually are there to help create the functions connected to human resources, and also now become a bit of a sovereign or an expert in human resources because you're now connected with the group. So my very first thought for you would be to reach out to the local SHRM organization in Vegas, and you see if there's any open board positions. All right. Because once you're on the board, now getting that next gig or getting the consulting roles, since you're already connected to that association, what happens is that it adds that level of credibility. Now, the fact that you have the education and the experience, all of that, that's fine. I feel like there's one other little badge of honor that you need to jump on. So, and I get it, some sort of a board that you get on. And what happens is because of that extra credential, then there are HR vibrations that just drop in your lap. The other thing that I'm getting is that if you were to reach out to companies that you already know are moving here, right? And you say, look, I offer 20 plus years, actually almost 30 years of human resources experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
okay,
20.
I offer 30 years of human resources experience in all aspects of the human resources process: hiring, training, firing, counseling, benefits, presentation. You've done it all right? Yeah. So what you do is you reach out, you start looking for the companies that are thinking about moving here, right? thinking about expanding here. And then you reach out to whoever the CFO is or the CEO is and say, look, I can be your hiring person for Las Vegas, right? So then you become the recruiter for a kick butt salary, like $20,000 a month, for the 6 months that it would take for you to onboard 100 employees. Do you see what I mean? So what happens is that you become the recruiting manager for a fractional amount of time, say 6 months, but they put you on the payroll so that you're not actually having to necessarily create the business yourself. You just say, well, the way it works with me is you put me on the payroll for 6 months, and my contract is a minimum of 6 months. For that 6 months, it's going to cost you $120,000. But in that 6 months, I can pretty much guarantee you that I can get your staff on board for that $120,000. See what I mean? It's like, so, and then you say, well, a lot of what I've done with other companies is I've done this process with them. And then when they realize that I bring a lot to the table, they just bring me in as their human resources director. So it is a way of them trying before they buy you, right? But the biggest need is that I feel like it's a company that's going to need a lot of employees in a short amount of time. And that's where you come in and say, well, I can help you do that. Yeah. So it may be that you start Googling, companies moving to Nevada, companies moving to Las Vegas, right? But I think you're going to springboard because of that card in the middle of your spread from your career into doing work that pays you well, but maybe for only 6 months at a time, unless they offer you a job at the level you should be making $250,000, $300,000 a year for what you bring to the table. So that's what I'm getting. All right, Tami's next.
Okay, thank you.
Tami made notes.
Well, I just made notes when I first saw you, that just kind of like what flooded in for me. So thank you so much for allowing me to be in service to you today. I appreciate it. One of the things that flooded in is that sometimes the truth is right in front of you and you don't want to see it. And maybe you'll even say, no, can that really be the truth? And second guess yourself on it. I get a sense of confidence, but some problems with self-trust. And I think that kind of goes with something's being presented to you and maybe you're stopping and saying, is that really true? Well, believe it, it's really true going on. You have a very high energy. I could feel the vibration of your energy in my body earlier. And so one of the things is you're going to have to watch what you think, because you're going to almost instantaneously manifest these things now. And so you ask about whether you're going to stay in the same domain. I don't think so myself, but you're going to have to use the skills that you've acquired throughout the years, but step outside of a box. In other words, if you would handle something this way, like with a more aggressive energy, you're going to have to step outside of the box and go with a more flowing, calmer energy. And it'll be the same thing. It's just that if you would have aggressively gone after something this way, settle it down, because this will have obstacles for you and this will kind of flow everything in the direction that you want. It's very important for you right now to spend some time with yourself, learning how to manage your own energy. It's too much. It's a lot. I think sometimes you have a hard time managing it even through the body. So emotions are very intense, but what you don't want to do is have that energy sticking in the body where it causes problems, what we call like a dis-ease or a sickness or anything like that. So I don't know if you do any meditation or if you do any like closing your eyes and just doing some long deep breaths in and out of the nose a couple times a day, or using a candle or a focal point and getting away from it all. Even going outside, taking your shoes off, walking in the grass, going to the beach. Nature seems to be a very grounding thing for you. So the more that you can do that, the more that will balance. And so the vibrating energy will stay at that level, but you won't you won't experience it that way. It'll be more of a balanced type of energy, because the feminine energy needs to balance just a little bit more now, because the masculine energy it's been the dominating factor through your life, and now you're being asked to balance it out, because that's going to move you in the direction you need to be in. And when you get into your new business, and it will just kind of be there for you, you won't second guess it. You'll know, this is the direction that I need to go. This is the passion. I can feel it within the essence of myself. Just remember that you're going to have to do it with this feminine, more flowing, settled down energy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, can I jump in?
Me
Or do you
too.
want to jump?
No, go
Okay,
ahead.
all right.
Me too.
So one of the things that occurred to me while Tami was talking is that when she said that it may be a slight tweak in a different direction for you, but that the background that you bring to the table serves it in some way, the thought that came to my mind, and it's a kind of blow my mind kind of thought, is that what if you were to reach out to all of the attorneys in Vegas and say that you have 30 years of human resources experience, and that you can act as an interpreter and as somebody that helps take reports for wrongful terminations, or the other side of that, where the law firm is actually defending the company. So because you're bilingual, you could actually be the person that calls up and says, hey, my name is Minerva. I'm working with this law firm to get a little bit more information from you. And in that very conversational way, whether it's in English or Spanish, you could actually recap whatever the situation is from either the employer's perspective and the employee's perspective. So you become sort of a legal ombudsman for to act as a liaison, because with everything you know about how human resources operate, and that there are some human resources people that have to do things that their CEO or CFO tell them to do that are difficult for HR people to do. So that even spins into public speaking for you, where you're actually addressing the hard issues that human resources have to deal with. Somebody has a shitty personality, for example, and nobody likes working with that person, but yet the person does a good job, and the person everyone keeps giving that person a pass until they don't, and then that person gets let go, and it's basically let go because of their personality. Well, you could speak on that difficult subject because you've had to live through it. So I'm agreeing with Tami that there may be a tweak, or that what you've done is a foundation to leap into something else, but the something else actually ends up making you really good money, but also doing something that feels very karmic in a way. So, all right, Kris.
Okay, I love that you said the legal part, because I actually picked up, what if you were to get your mediator's license specifically for work-related disputes?
Yeah, instead of law firms.
Yeah,
because
and I just
as
got
you said law firms, what came to me was absolutely not.
I just
mediation.
got goosebumps with the mediation.
I got goosebumps when I said it. So I think it's another great tool or credential to have in your arsenal. I want to just kind of put this out there. I love the fractional idea that Mona said. And in addition, have you ever considered, or have you ever worked for a PEO, and like a professional employers organization?
Oh.
I've worked with them.
I think you could run the place. Maybe that even, like, if that's something that you wanted to start, like as your own business, but maybe on the fractional side. But I mean, the PEOs, they need someone with all your experience and your skill set and all the different areas, because they oversee the benefits administration, the payroll, the human relations.
She could even do just good old fashioned recruiting, where she's actually needs to recruit a chef, for example, that is bilingual, and that because she speaks and writes, does everything fully bilingual. It's like when she's interviewing the chef and asks in Spanish, do you speak Spanish? Habla español. And they go right into a long conversation about that, you would make a lot of money doing recruiting, because even if you only charge 10% and that executive chef was making $300,000, you do one placement a month. That's your $30,000, bump. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Tam.
You could actually, if you wanted to, there's not a lot of bilingual deposition companies. So that would be, and I mean, if you want to talk about making huge money, that's huge money, because I've not known, I know that they bring in interpreters, but it's much different having an interpreter and having a company that specifically does the bilingual depositions.
Mm-hmm.
So you could create a deposition company.
Wow. Minerva, you're going to be here on a roll. So what, do you have any follow-up questions for us now that we've just bombarded you with all our ideas?
No, I just wanted to mention to Kris that that I have a son who also has my same birthday, 8/8. So when you talk about Leo spirit, it's all around me. My partner's a Leo, my son's a Leo. I mean, I just love the Leo energy. And no, I'm taking in everything that you guys have said. There's a lot of great thoughts in there too. And so many things that I can now research and go after. So thank you for helping me to reignite that fire. It's been a year and 3 months since they laid me off. And I did enjoy, trust me, I did enjoy learning more about me and living this last year up like I know tomorrow. Because, when you work since you've been 13 years old, even my daughter said, I don't know who you are, Mom. My mom never not works. And I said, well, you work so hard your whole life so you can get to this point where you can actually take a year off and it's going to be okay.
Right.
And now it's time. I'm ready. Kind of already.
I know you got to get out of the bathroom.
Yeah. So, I really do think that if you can find a place on any board position with the local SHRM organization.
They have 2 open and I just looked at them yesterday.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, so we do that, and then you find out how to be a mediator, and then you find out how to what was the thing you said?
A deposition company.
Deposition company. It's like find those things out, and then you decide to create a website with how can Minerva help you, and then all of the things that you can do, and then you make really good, deserved good money for what you do. So that's probably why the completion card came up reversed, is that there's still something else you need to do in order to get the kind of attention that you deserve. So Minerva, you've been a wonderful guest. Thank you for coming to us so open. Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
All right, my friend. Well, tell all your friends about the program, because
I will. I'm going to get on here and go tell people all about it.
Thank you so much for being part of the program, Minerva.
All right, ladies.
All right, everybody. How do you be on 3? Go to www.three.vegas. Go to the How to Be on 3 page. Fill out the form. And then when we do our next filming, we'll reach out to you about you being a guest on the program. And you can see that it's collaborative. We all concentrate on you like you're the only person in the room, which is exactly how it should be. I want to thank John at WWDBTV for making this program possible. I want to thank Tami and Kris for their insight to make this a 3-way collaboration to benefit you. Until next time, be well.
The cast members of 3 are not professional attorneys, CPAs, psychologists, marriage counselors, physicians, or financial advisors. You are provided with opinions that are unique to each of the intuitive performers. 3 is presented to you for your entertainment.